Hey guys, welcome back. So today, getting ready for muzzleloader season, and I decided, since I've already used up both of my buck tags during archery season this year, hunting with my recurve. By the way, I appreciate all your views on that. That's really helping out the channel. But black powder season is coming up, and with that, deer camp. So I'm going to have some cool camping videos coming up. And one thing that I'm going to be hunting with is this. Take a gander at this thing. Now this is the Traditions Trapper pistol. Pretty good looking gun. Now this is a 50 caliber cap lock, or percussion cap, however you want to say it, pistol. Single shot. Has double set triggers on it. That means if you pull the rear trigger till you hear it click, that sets the front trigger at a very light trigger pull. Maybe about a pound. Now if you really have to, if you're cocked all the way back, you can just pull the front trigger and it will shoot that way too. But the first thing we got to do is work up a load, because just because you see the recommended load in the books, that doesn't mean that it's going to be actually the most accurate load for this gun. And that's because they don't know what you're going to be shooting. And what I'm going to be shooting out of this is these. Don't know how well you can see that. That is the Thompson Center Maxi Hunter 350 grain conical bullet. As you see, it's pre-lubed. That's a pretty big round. Now, I've already shot a couple times at this target yesterday at about 25 yards. That's just to give me a rough idea of what kind of powder charge we're going to be looking at. And I think somewhere around 30 grains of powder is going to be our most accurate load. Now you might be wondering, how powerful is one of these? Well, with a 350 grain bullet, all you have to do is get it up to about 800 feet per second, and you're getting about 500 foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle, which is plenty for big game. So let's get this thing loaded up and start slinging some lead. The first thing I'm doing is just putting a loading jag on top of my ramrod here. It's just to help get us everything settled down in there. Okay. So we have our powder measure already measured out at 30 grains. Okay. That powder settled down in there. Take our bullet. Now with these, there's no need to use a patch, which you would need to use for something like a patched round ball. This is what's called a short starter and a long starter. This just helps get the bullet started in there. That way it's easier to use the ramrod. Okay. Now, make sure the bullet is seated down on the powder all the way. And the next thing to do is to put a percussion cap on the nipple there, and we will be ready to shoot. So let me get my earplugs in, get the percussion cap on here, and let's shoot. And we're ready to go. Alright. So it does look like about 30 grains is going to be a pretty good accurate load for this. As you see, a lot of the old wives' tales about these things are not true. They do not take 10 minutes to reload. I mean, you can see how long it takes to load this thing up. Less than a minute. And I'm taking my time. There you go. Now we're all reloaded. Took less than a minute. So, I'll try a few more shots just to make sure we're on here. Okay. So, even as powerful as this gun is, the recoil is still pretty mild. Alright guys, here's the results of what we got. So this is our first target. So as you can see, I was kind of messing around with the sights, but this that I have circled here was the group that I shot with 30 grains of powder. And I measured it, and it comes out to center about 4.5 inches. So, since I figured the gun can probably do better than that, I moved up to 35 grains of powder. This is the group at 35 grains of powder. And that, measured center to center, is a 3.5 inch group. So our group size went down. So we know the powder charge that's going to be the most accurate is going to be more than 30 grains. Because it went down whenever we went up to 35. So then I tried to get better accuracy, so I went up to 40 grains of powder, and that's right here. And that actually, center to center, is the same size group, roundabouts. Maybe a hair better, but I think the difference is probably just my shooting. Measuring this, it still came out to about 3.5 inches. So we can conclude that the most accurate load for this gun is going to be somewhere between 35 and 40 grains of powder. Still, a 3.5 inch group at 25 yards with a 50 caliber handgun is more than adequate for hunting. So anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Next month I'm going to get this thing out and hopefully we get a doe with it. So I'll be camping out then, and thanks for your views guys. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up.